put a timeline in. And then like 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40, 50, whatever. So try to make a little bit of a concept. And so first 5 years, pioneers, Alder, Sally, herbs instead of salads. Yeah, here comes it already as well. You need the wild plants, ground elder, purple veg, what you can eat. Primrose, bistard, nettles as well. I started to make nettle fiber. Let me see here. That is all the berries: rosa rugosa, currants, strawberry, cloudberry, loganberry, raspberry, blueberry, stachelbeere. See? Couldn't think about the English one. Stachelbeere, what is that?
Bilberry.
Gooseberry.
Gooseberry.
Bilberry, yeah. And then indeed, wanna beans, purple peas, everything that is something what the permaculturists found as well, and I found as well. Everything what is purple in vegetables, the slugs seem not to really like it.
Okay.
So that helps as well in a beginning phase. Bistard, burdock. Burdock is what I call the meat of the roots. Burdock feeds you 10 times more than potatoes.
Okay.
Oh.
I started as well to. It's a 2 years, so you have to get them in the first year. They can make really big growths. They go down to the clay layer and bring up the nutrition.
Cool.
So
So that's very much like what the way we would use cassava in the tropics.
Yeah.
In our system
So
there.
and but the burdock you have to cook it several times to get the.
Very much like cassava as well.
Yeah. But it feeds you 10 times more than potatoes.
Yeah, I didn't know
if
that.
you cook it,
Uh-huh.
I mean, but I found now as
Where
well.
would you get? I've never even heard of it. Where would you
Burdock
get it?
is the sticky things you throw in a hair of
Yeah,
some
you know,
man.
they goes into dogs' hairs and you try and get it out, it breaks into seeds.
Yeah.
There is a drink called dandelion and burdock.
Yeah, that's why Irish people know that, because of their drink. So you have to prepare it, and what I figured now as well is, even if you have a little bit of an older one, it splits between the inner core and the bark. And the inner core, okay, used like normal, and the bark more rough, but you can marinate it then, and then it gets more into a meat. Bake it then or something into meat. So burdock is definitely one what is.
So compressed ground basically would be good to get into it to loosen up the compression.
Yeah, but I'm not really sure now where it really likes to grow, because seeds itself out. Try throwing seeds here and there, and then it doesn't come. Or, but I think the Chinese actually grow it as a vegetable, and it can make really big roots.
Because they actually cultivate it as against just growing wild. Yeah.
Makes huge leaves. So it's as well
Ground
pick
cover.
up the leaves and ground
Yeah.
cover, and
So it
it
ticks
is
lots of
for
boxes.
burns. You can use it against burns.
What, the leaves?
Everything. The root
Okay.
is always stronger than. So burdock, I think, is really a staple food one actually. Sugar root, that's a medieval vegetable I grow. I just stick somewhere. It grows. It doesn't matter. And grass and everything, so that's hop. Oh yeah, then we have here apple, pear, quince, plum, cherry, mulberry. Mulberry is grows here. It does, but I saw in a French thing. Mulberry is the wood of mulberry is the best to bring up the ground. In France, there have even mulberry plantations still there, and they coppice them, pollard them, and make immediately shredder them up and sell that to. It's the best wood chips. You
Oh,
can,
really?
Yes,
The,
mulberry.
the amora, it's called in Portuguese, and they say that the leaves are fantastic tonic in tea for cramp, for women,
Oh,
for
right, yeah.
menstrual pains and
Yeah.
problems, amongst many other
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
And it does grow here. I have one here, and it's doing fine. You have different mulberries, different black one.
How quickly
white
does it
one.
grow here?
I'm not sure. This one is growing quite quick compared to what I see with the other ones.
Uh-huh.
So, but I have no comparison because I don't know anybody else who actually has some mulberries growing. I started, at first I was thinking, oh, only Irish trees. And then I thought, like, bullshit.
No, exactly.
You know, food, eating.
Yes, exactly.
And then I started going more and more into what might do or what does. So hardy kiwi is a really nice one because it is a small kiwi. It doesn't have a skin. It is like a big grape. And thus here I have, anyway, I just didn't fruit it with me because that is, again, what I only did in the last years. And then it's like, ever so often I get 500 euros from my rich aunt and then I go shopping. Then I love shopping. Future forest. 500 euros into trees. So that's Siberian peat tree. You find it here in parks and stuff. So it's a pea. What is it? Of course, always interesting.
So it's
And
like
it's a
like,
tree, and it makes.
It's like lentils.
It makes small. Peas,
Uh-huh.
like 5 or 6 in them.
Yeah.
So again, it's new.
So
the
it's a
slugs discovered it.
Is it a nitrogen fixer?
But
So,
yeah,
yeah.
as a tree then.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
so
So it grows big.
that is. So I'm waiting for them now. I
So
have
it sounds
3
like
of them.
pigeon pea that we use.
Probably something
Sounds
like
like
that.
it.
Yeah.
But it's not the same, obviously, because it's a
Yeah.
different plant, but it's similar function.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Sweet chestnut. I have young trees now wandering because they don't like wind.
Okay.
So don't know if that is, but I put them in a place where they're quite sheltered. Honeyberry, avalanchea, Oregon grape, laurel, rowan. That rowan should be by the native trees. So I mean, this is all stuff.
So that's the first 5 years, basically.
That your
And moving on the plan then until we
Yeah.
don't need to go through all of it. Now I just
Yeah.
think the idea is to show like that
And
there
then
is a
it's-
plan,
yeah.
and like here that kind of spreads out like really
biomass.
intensively and aggressively planting, right, for those first 5 years.
Yeah, and then the
That
biomass.
It
yeah,
develops then over a period
yeah,
of time.
and then the biomass. What you put in there is indeed the biomass willow. What I was talking about. The ash. Then again, in all kinds of willow, what you can use for firewood, indeed, basket. The ash is really nice for mushrooms. I have a few old ash trees here, but they were here, and cut them back. And when you cut them back, indeed, you can
So you could use them to
You can
to
coppice
populate them with.
you can totally abuse
Hold
them.
that.
I will.
So
It's getting heavy.
Yeah, well, just
But there's-
8 minutes of it, I'll take over in another 8.
But what I see on 2 of them, one has mushrooms, has the turkey tail, what is very good for your defensive system, and the other one got what is the other one now? Oh yeah, and then the inked mushrooms, you can eat them as well, but they're not really. But the velvet shanks, I have velvet shanks on one, and they are most delicious. Oh my god! So the ash seems to be a nice tree as well. What brings you mushrooms?
But
Because
in
it
terms
starts
of-
rotting in some
Yeah,
parts,
that's
and
what I'm
it's still
getting at.
growing on.
Okay, so you'd actually use the tree itself, or would you use the branches that you've cut from it, or that are falling on the ground?
The tree itself. The world tree was the ash. In Nordic mythology, the world tree was the ash, and I have no doubts why they took it. It's the tree of life in these parts of the world. The ash tree, you can abuse it like hell. It grows like mad. you cut branches off, and it's alive, and it's alive, and it's alive, and then here it's growing, and here it produces mushrooms. It's just amazing, and indeed it gives you a lot of biomass as well.
Yeah.
And firewood, you don't need a year for it to dry out. If you in Ireland, wood never dries out, but basically ash, but in principle, you can cut ash, and after 3 months you can burn it.
Okay.
So the ash is an Then we have a problem with ash dieback. We don't have that here, but that is as well because a lot of outside, not Irish ash was brought in. So, but if you can grow ash, absolutely. Then what's not on the list, what I found now is the evergreens. How is them called? See Latin names. You need always 2 so that they make berries, and I think the berries are edible as well. But they grow. At the moment I'm making cuttings, I stock them everywhere. They love poor ground. They are perfect with apple trees. They're great chop and drop because it's an evergreen. It's a little bit like your eucalyptus, because it's woody leaves.
Yes.
So, and it grows vigorous. It grows really fast. It's a great windbreak because that's what we want to for the shelter. So and they grow really fast. Hedging, you see them a lot in hedging here. But there's another one as well. You see a lot in hedging, and I think that's not that good. What's the name of that, what I'm talking about now? I can look it up. It's not on my list here. Horse chestnut is good here. Horse chestnut, but indeed that is later because it doesn't fruit here. I mean, apples you can have fruiting after 5 years, depends on your rootstock. So that is indeed in the 5 years already is the apple and stuff. So horse chestnut, I don't know how long that takes. But the fruits you can use for washing.
Pardon me?
Washing.
Wow.
Horse chestnuts
Wow.
is the old Vikings were washing with horse chestnuts.
And washing how?
You have to peel them.
Peel it so you got the white pulp inside.
Yeah.
And then what?
You cook that and then
Cook it?
put it directly in it. Or
So does it like break up into kind of almost like a starchy kind of solution in water if you've cooked it?
It has loads
and then
of
you apply
saponi
that
in
then
it.
to clean
Yeah,
with.
it has a lot of saponi in it.
Okay.
Ivy has a lot of saponi in it as well. You can, but ivy you need more saponi. When there's saponi in saponi, I don't know how you would pronounce it really. It is for washing, but the horse chestnut is really the Vikings were washing with horse chestnuts. And then the flowers, great for the bees and stuff, and as well for coughs and chest. As well, I have one horse chestnut now. I cut back. It's really nice as well for cut back because it makes really big leaves, and it wants to grow again. I don't know how far you can abuse that, but that's a cut back. But basically, every tree you can pollard. So from that height.
One of the things that Ernst, the guy who came up with this centropic agriculture idea in Brazil, says is that when we do this major pruning of the system, is that shortly afterwards there's a chemical release through the roots, and that stimulates growth.
Yeah,
and those trees that have been pruned also then perform much more photosynthesis than the ones that haven't.
Yeah.
You
so
it's
make the tree
more
younger
carbon.
when you
Exactly,
prune it.
exactly,
Actually,
exactly.
Exactly. In the beginning, I was
feel like I have to get your hair cut.
Don't cut the tree, and now, you have to cut a lot. Don't be shy. If you have, it's certainly not after 20 years. Don't be shy.
Exactly.
Absolutely not.
That's grand.
Yeah. Okay. Then you have the hazel and the coconuts, of course.